and welcome to Dancer's Delight Knit Cowl. By this point, you have completed all 5 of the charts of the cowl, the lovely reindeer, the lovely holly or the branch, and then our lovely finishing. You have 2 options as far as how to finish this cowl. You could finish it very similar to how we began with just some 2x2 ribbing, so that way the ribbing at the start and the end match. And if you do that, you will just work your 2x2 ribbing and then bind off in pattern. Or you can choose to make this final edge a drawstring casing, to which you would have an eye cord right here that you will be able to pull through the casing and tighten up your cowl around your head, sort of like a snood. So that is what I want to show you how to do in this video. This right here is the start of my round, and I've already worked 4 rounds up and I am on round 5, and I have worked all the way around round 5 where it said to do my knit 2, purl 2 for 16 times. After you've worked the ribbing 16 times, you will continue on with a knit 2, and this is where we want to add our eyelet. So we will yarn over our right hand needle and we will do a slip slip knit. So we slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit, take our left hand needle, put it in the front leg of both of those stitches, and then knit them together. Okay, we continue on with a simple knit 2. Now I'm going to have you do a knit 2 together. So we're going to do a simple knit 2 together and then a yarn over. Now that puts us back in rhythm for our knit 2, purl 2 ribbing all the way back to the start of our round. Okay, let me get a little on here and then we're going to take a look at what we've created. By doing those 2 little simple yarn overs, that yarn over right there and that yarn over right there, when it's time, our eye cord will come through those 2 yarn overs, and that will be the area that we can pull this portion of our cowl tight like a drawstring. And so what we're going to do now past this point is we're going to continue in knit 2, purl 2 ribbing, so that way we can encase this eye cord, and then we will finish it off by joining it to that first round right down there on the cowl. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is go ahead, you're going to finish this round. This is your round 5. Then you're going to do rounds 6 through round 12. And then we're going to join it all together. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and continue on with your ribbing, and I will see you back here when it's time to close up that casing. Once you've reached round 12 of the cowl, join me back here where we will fold the ribbing and seam it with a 3 needle bind off to the inside of the cowl. Wrong side of the cowl. And we will end up knitting the stitch on our needle with the purl bump right here from our work. Now we could choose the purl bump that is of the same color, or we could choose the purl bump of the opposite color. We can choose either one. I'm going to choose the same color so that way I can stick with it the whole way around. Okay, but before we do that, we want to make sure that your eye cord is done, and we're going to stick our eye cord in right now. So that way we don't have to fiddle with it later on, trying to weave it through the casing. Okay. So I'm taking my eye cord and I'm on the wrong side here. I'm going to push it through one of the eyelets that we created, and then push the other side through the other eyelet that we created. And I'm going to pull that down, and essentially I'm going to hold this eye cord inside of my cowl, so that way when I do my casing like this, I am actually working around my eye cord here. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I have a very, very, very long eye cord, so I'm not worried about pulling it out or anything like that. Just kind of let it be. Okay, all right, so let me show you how we do this. Let me put this last stitch on here. I can remove my row counter now, and I'm going to kind of pull this up. Now, sometimes I find it easier to do this with a why can't I think of the name? A double pointed needle. But it works just fine with the other end of your circular. So right now we're going to come to the other end. So this is the first two knit twos, right? And so I'm looking at the wrong side. So I'm looking at purls. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pick up that purl bump. So I'm going to pick it up. Okay. And now I'm essentially going to do a knit two together. So I'm going to pull that back in there. I'm going to go into the stitch on my left-hand needle and then go into that purl bump I picked up. I'm going to knit two together. I'm going to do the same thing here. The next one, I go into the next purl bump. Okay, the next purl bump. And then I do a knit two together. Now that I've knit two together, I'm going to take the first one that I did and have it jump up and over the second one, just like a normal bind off. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to stick this into the purl bump. Now, this stitch is a purl, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bind off in pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and purl these two together. Okay. And then I have that first stitch, jump the second. All right. Once again, come over here, pick up that purl bump. And this is, I'm connecting it with that purl, so I'm going to purl two together here. Have that stitch, jump the second. Okay, so what is happening here is you can see my I-cord is in there, it's getting encased in, and this is just working around my I-cord, and I'm getting a really nice finish, and I'm binding off all of my stitches as I go. So I'm going to do this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. And then I will cut my tail and leave a long enough tail so that way I can weave it in. And then the last thing to do is weave in all of my ends if I have not woven them all in yet. And give my little cowl here a nice little blocking. Nothing big. You don't have to do anything big. And you will have a piece ready to go. Okay? So let's just keep going along. If it's a knit stitch, knit it. If it's a purl stitch, purl it. And all I mean by that is like the purl two together, the knit two together. Remember, the two together is really, it's the stitch from the finished cowl and the stitch that's on your needle. Okay, so I'm going to pop that over there so you can see. You can see here, this is the inside of my cowl. It's a nice, clean, flush finish. This is what it looks on the outside. Nice, clean, flush finish. And just right now, even right now, my I-cord is moving through there. Okay, so let's go ahead and work all the way around. You have not woven in their tails yet. Do the same. And you have this nice little casing so you can kind of poke that tail into there. Just check it all out, make sure everything's good. And then you should be good to have your project ready to go. So we are finally off of our needles. We can take a peek here. You can see now, instead of a ribbing at the top, I have an I-cord casing, and the eyelets, because of the placement, they are on the front. They aren't like up here at the top, they're in the front. And we can pull this closed so it can be snug around our neck should we want it. I made my I-cord very nice and long. If you want to add a knot at the end of your I-cord just for safety, you absolutely could do that. You could even add tassels or a palm if you wanted to, but keep it very simple. There's the lovely I-cord, and then here is the rest of the cowl. If you are not a fan of all of the floats on the inside of cowl, one thing you could do is you could get yourself a piece of fleece. You could turn this inside out and just stitch some fleece, like stitch it to the top here, and then stitch it to the bottom down here, and then make a tube out of the fleece to cover up all of the floats, if that's something you want. But for me, I think this is Absolutely adorable. I love that I chose the red for the eye cord here because it looks really great. And I cannot wait to wear the Dancer's Delight knit cowl. Hope you enjoyed making this with me. See you soon.